Hello and welcome to today's Derby Trail Pedigree Profile. We're going to talk about Art Collector, who comes off a win in the Bluegrass Stakes last month at Keeneland, giving him 100 points. So Art Collector is in the Kentucky Derby. It doesn't matter where he finishes in the Ellis Park Derby, he's basically in. So let's talk about Art Collector's pedigree. He's a son of Bernardini, and right off the bat, that is a very good sign. Bernardini was a router in his career. We're going to take a look at his record really quick. He won the Preakness Stakes, tragically, over Barbaro. He won the Jim Dandy. He won the Travers Stakes. He won the Jockey Club Gold Cup. And then he was second in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Now, both the Travers and the Jockey Club Gold Cup were Mile 1/4 races, so that's enough evidence. He was second in the Breeders' Cup Classic, but he lost to a good horse in Investor. Investor was undefeated in his 2006 season. Art Collector is also a grandson of A.P. Indy, who is one of the greatest stamina influences in racing. I don't think we need to talk about his topside anymore. Look, Bernardini, A.P. Indy. Not every Bernardini horse is going to be a router. There's always going to be some exceptions. Even with A.P. Indy, there were a couple of exceptions in his sire record. There's going to be a couple of sprinters, a couple of milers. But in general, Bernardini is going to produce routers. In general, Bernardini is a route sire. He's a true router who produces routers. Now let's talk about the bottom side of Art Collector's pedigree. This is a son of a distorted humor mare named Distorted Legacy. Let's look at Distorted Legacy's record really quick. Distorted Legacy did not win often, but look at the races she competed in. The Ruffian, the Flower Bowl Invitational in 2011, the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf, and those are all route races. She didn't win them, but look, she was second in the Flower Bowl. She was fourth in the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare Turf. You might not think fourth is a good finish, but she was fourth against the best turf horses around, so I don't think you can knock that. So I see no problem with Distorted Legacy either. She's a daughter of Distorted Humor, who produced a 2003 Kentucky Derby winner, Funny Side. Now, I want to show one more thing on this side. Distorted Legacy is a half-sister to a very good router in Vision and Verse. Now, it's a little different. Vision and Verse is the son of Stormcat, while Distorted Legacy is a daughter of Distorted Humor. So it's slightly different, but it's still important because they're half siblings. I want to look at Vision and Verse's pedigree or record really quick. Vision and Verse won the 1999 Illinois Derby before he was second in the Belmont Stakes. That race has a tragedy in it too, because Charismatic suffered a career-ending injury and finished third in that race. Vision and Verse was second to Lemon Drop Kid. Later on in the year, Vision and Verse was also second to Lemon Drop Kid in the Travers Stakes, so he had to face him twice, and he lost to him twice, but that's no knock on Vision and Verse. I just think he lost to a good router in Lemon Drop Kid. And Vision and Verse kind of tailed off in form after that. But look, Vision and Verse was a router. He competed in mostly route races. He was second in the Belmont Stakes in 1999. I think that's enough evidence to call him a stamina influence, or evidence that Art Collector has stamina in his pedigree. Art Collector has Bernardini and A.P. Indy on top, and then you look at the bottom, he's got Distorted Humor, who produced Distorted Legacy, a turf router in her career, and Distorted Legacy is a half-sister to Vision and Verse, who was second in the 1999 Belmont Stakes. Now, Distorted Legacy didn't produce any winners besides Art Collector. She only produced one other horse, actually, a Soldier in Pink, who was an 0 for 5 filly. She only earned $5,000, so there's no point in looking at Soldier in Pink's record. But that's fine. There's enough evidence. I don't think anyone can deny that Art Collector has a routing pedigree. Why did Joe Sharp initially start Art Collector in sprint races? I don't know. I think he was discouraged by his finish in the Bourbon Stakes. He was only 7th in the Bourbon Stakes, but maybe Art Collector just didn't want to be on the turf, or it was his first try routing. Sometimes when horses try routing for the first time, it doesn't work out, even if they have the pedigree for it, but they kind of develop into it, you know? But I think there is no question now with his win in the Bluegrass Stakes and his pedigree, that Art Collector is clearly a router with plenty of stamina influences, and that he's going to have no problem with the mild 1/4 distance of the Kentucky Derby. If he loses the Derby, it's going to be for other reasons. Maybe he'll lose to Honor AP or Tis the Law because they're better horses, or maybe he'll get caught up in a fast pace, or maybe he'll have some traffic problems after breaking poorly. I don't know. He's not a horse likely to break poorly, but you never know. There are 20 horses, and it can be chaotic sometimes, which is why it's important to have tactical speed, and Art Collector has plenty of tactical speed. We're going to look at his Bluegrass Stakes win. Let's look in theater mode. You see, Art Collector this is the far turn, so I kind of skipped ahead. Swiss Skydiver is on the lead. Art Collector was in third most of the way. And then on the far turn, Chivalry folded, and Swiss Skydiver had the lead, but Art Collector came up alongside Swiss Skydiver, and it was a fight for a little bit, but Art Collector proved himself the best. Yes, there was some urging, which I don't mind. I don't mind that he was hit with the whip, because when you're talking about a filly like Swiss Skydiver, I think it's going to take some effort to beat Swiss Skydiver. And look, he won by 3 or 4 lengths. I think that's a pretty good margin over Swiss Skydiver, one of the best 3-year-old fillies. And look at the margin from Swiss Skydiver to the rest of the horses. I think that's Rushy in third. There's a gap from Art Collector to Swiss Skydiver, and then there's a bigger gap from Swiss Skydiver to the third place horse, might have been Rushy. And I think that's a good sign. I don't see a problem with Art Collector. He's got the pedigree, he's got the class, he's got the tactical speed. I don't see one flaw. He might lose the Ellis Park Derby. It's this Sunday at Ellis Park, and I will say that Art Collector does not need to win the Ellis Park Derby, and sometimes trainers undertrain their horses if they're pointing for a bigger goal like the Kentucky Derby. And in this case, they might be using the Ellis Park Derby just to keep him fit. He doesn't need to win to be in the field. He could finish second, he could finish third, he could finish off the board and still be in the Kentucky Derby. So Art Collector doesn't need to win the Ellis Park Derby. Keep that in mind. If you see him finish second or third in that race, I don't think that should discourage you. I still expect him to win, but if he finishes in the Superfecta, I still think you should consider him. If he finishes second in the Ellis Park Derby or third in the Ellis Park Derby, I still think you should consider him in the Kentucky Derby, because I think he's going to be tuned up for the Kentucky Derby. Anyways, that's my pedigree and race analysis for Art Collector. I think he's a very good horse. He has plenty of stamina, and he's going to be a major threat on September 5. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.